Hello and welcome once more to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Marta. Today is the 8th of January and I have yet more news for you today on the PS4 as Sony has announced some sales figures for us finally, as they have said that the cumulative sales of the PS4 surpassed 4.2 million as of the 28th of December. And for those of you wondering, in comparison to the Xbox One, this is pretty damn decent as it only sold 3 million units as of New Year's, of course. This is from the 28th of December for Sony and from the 31st of December for Microsoft. Now, this is kind of to be a little bit expected as, of course, the PS4 did launch a week earlier in the US, but also, of course, launched a week later in various EU territories. Now, software-wise, things are going pretty well for Sony too, as they shifted 9.7 million units of PS4 software. Now, maybe that number isn't so great relative to how many consoles were sold, as it means most people on average have 2 games per console. But given that the console is extremely young and there's not too many games out for it at the moment, of course there's a handful of indie games and a couple of AAAs, but most of the games that are available are, of course, launch titles or current generation crossovers that have also come out on the PS4, like Call of Duty and Battlefield 4 and that sort of thing. So it doesn't really surprise me that not many people have that many PS4 games because, well, there's not really that many to have at the moment. Now, what is most impressive, though, is that PS Plus subscriptions have increased by more than 90% since the PS4's launch. Now, of course, this is due to the fact that you do need a PS Plus in order to play PS4 games in online multiplayer, as you do, of course, with Xbox Live Gold. So it's not exactly surprising that the numbers have spiked massively, given that it is now a requirement to have PS Plus in order to access multiplayer. Now, Sony also revealed that people are rather liking their streaming services as well, with more than 1.7 million gameplay broadcast streamed from the console, which totals at about 55 million minutes. And according to Twitch, 20% of their broadcasts between the 23rd and the 3rd of January have been from the PS4, and Twitch's VP of Marketing Matthew DiPietro said, quote, "Based on our success with the PlayStation 4, which currently represents 20% of our broadcaster base, our vision was on the mark. We envision a day when broadcasting your gameplay is a ubiquitous place of the gaming experience. We're well on our way." So there you have it. It seems that the reports were correct and that the PS4 at this time in the console race does have a lead in the sales. Now, of course, Xbox One is still only out in limited territories, so given that PS4 is available in many more places than the Xbox One, it does kind of make that gap between the two not seem as bad, because, well, when the Xbox One eventually releases in the territories that it hasn't yet come out in, then, of course, those sales are going to go up and will probably make up some of the space between the PS4 and the Xbox One. So that's the stage we're at now. We're sort of end of stage 1 of the race, sort of lap 1 has been done, but this is a long race with years and years ahead of us. So we won't really know who the true winner is, if there ever can be a winner, until quite some time, but we can safely say that the winner of the launch window is Sony, but I imagine the Xbox One is going to catch up pretty damn quickly, especially as it becomes available in more and more countries. I think it's pretty damn impressive that they've sold as many as they have, given the limited availability outside of certain areas. So definitely a big thumbs up and congratulations to both Sony and Microsoft for what has been overall a fairly successful launch. Some problems on both sides of the fence, of course, as is kind of to be expected with a new console launch, and it seems like things are only looking up for the gaming market at the moment. I don't expect that the amount of games owned per person will go up as more games become available. When there's limited games available, you can't really expect people to own loads because, well, not only are there not that many games, they did just drop about £400/$500 on a console, so maybe they're a bit strapped for cash for some reason. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.